That's completely true. The importance or the impact of kindness can never be overemphasized. My name is Adesu Osuyi. It's the conversation on TOS Television Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. And as always, the conversation promises to be quite engaging. Proceeding, moving on with the show, starting with developments across Africa, that's story and happenings from across the African continent. Starting with Burkina Faso. So Burkina Faso, Ghana, Ivory Coast and Togo have mounted a joint military operation to counter increased attacks by Islamist insurgents groups in part of West Africa. Burkina-based Security Minister Maxime Kone said on Tuesday, that's yesterday. Away from that, Thomas Thabane, Lesotho's former Prime Minister, and his current wife, Messiah Thabane, on Tuesday were charged over the murder of his estranged wife. And to Uganda, Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo launched joint air and artillery strikes in eastern Congo on Tuesday, that's yesterday, against the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, both countries said. And that's it for stories and happenings from across Africa. But before I move on with the show, I'll be bringing you COVID-19 updates from across Africa right now. Everyone is talking about the Omicron variant of the COVID-19, and that has, is sparking global concern. So you should do your bit. Nigeria has confirmed, I think, 3 cases this morning. So do your bit to ensure that you are safe and the next person is safe. COVID-19 updates from across Africa, and then it's the big story. It's still the conversation on TOS Television Network. I beg your pardon, your digital first Pan-African news network. And as I always tell you, you have to be a part of the community. Follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. And that's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And of course, you can watch a recap of all our shows on www.tostvnetwork.com. It's time to bring you the crux of the conversation. That's the big story. And the conversation, everyone is talking about COVID-19, but something, spectacular is happening in Nigeria right now. Workers, that's government workers, are demanding extension following the federal government's compulsory vaccination deadline. So sometime in the year, the federal government has said it's giving its workers December 1st, that's today, as deadline to get vaccinated, or they'll be restricted into getting into their offices and government buildings. And some workers have come out to say, look, you have to extend that deadline. Today is the deadline, and there's a whole lot going on in the country right now, and that's what the conversation is going to be about. I'm not going to have a conversation by myself. I have with me Mr. Mustafa Aliyu, a public affairs analyst. He's here with me in the studio to discuss this subject.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
So, Association of Civil Servants of Nigeria has asked the government, the federal government, to extend the deadline, to March next year. That's March 2022. But today being the deadline for the compulsory vaccination, I'm sure a lot has begun, because I think over half of Nigeria's population haven't been vaccinated yet. No. And a lot of those are also public servants. So they're going to be restricted entry to their offices anyways. What do you make of that?
It's just the government is trying to do everything they need to do to mitigate the spread of the COVID, and it's a major happening right now in the country where its workers can't, or are trying to tell the government to extend to match, because obviously, as we can see, probably more than half of its workers haven't been vaccinated. So that is typical of them to ask for more time, because with more time, you get more result and you get people vaccinated the more. So it's actually okay around the ambits of the government to give its workers more time, because not everybody could have been vaccinated within the period of time that they were asked to get vaccinated to the end of this grace period which is this December 1st. But workers should take it so serious, because it's serious that we're already having the fourth wave, and it's a global pandemic that everyone is trying to know how to get their responsive strategy to make everything okay for its citizens. So the government should give more time, and the workers to abide by vaccinating themselves. So that's just what
it's
I feel.
amazing that you spoke about, workers taking it seriously. My question earlier was like, what I thought to myself, that why is it that the workers didn't take the government seriously when they said you have to get vaccinated before December 1st or you stay at home? And a lot of them haven't been vaccinated. And the alternative is, look, if you're not vaccinated, bring a negative PCR test and we'll allow you in. But that isn't the case. Do you think they didn't take the government seriously, or it was the case of there was no enough vaccines available?
That's just one of it. The availability of vaccine is one of it. If really the governments have make available vaccines enough to vaccinate its workers, that is one big issue. The second is, even with the awareness being out there, they talk about COVID and the enforcement of people trying to do the needful for this virus not to spread. People don't take it seriously. It's just so unfortunate that it have to happen that way, because a lot of people don't really even trust the vaccine itself, because people are not really sure what this vaccine is all about. So nobody wants to be a specimen for something that you really don't know about. And I feel the government have tried to be able to give proper awareness, inclined to this vaccination and telling people it has no harm or whatsoever. But it's just a mentality that drives most people and make them feel like, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm not ill, I'm not falling down, I don't really feel those symptoms this COVID is all about. So why should I go and take it? And we need to go past that by taking it, and the government should make available the vaccine so people can get vaccinated.
Okay, another question that has been on the lips of a lot of Nigerians is that you cannot force people to get vaccinated. People who don't want to take the vaccine, you cannot force me to take a jab. I'm an adult. I should know what I want and what I don't want. Is it, in your opinion, is it okay to enforce vaccination, compulsory vaccination? Is it okay? Is it a way to go in your opinion?
No, you can force. You can actually force anyone to take this vaccine right now. I think you made a clear statement. If you can take the vaccine, you should be able to bring your negative
test.
So it's a two-way. And for sure, we have not gotten to the point where people are aware of how serious this COVID is all about. Because we thought COVID could have been gone past us by now.
Yeah.
But it's coming in different
variants
forms and with various variants. And we even have the Omicron and all what have you. Who knows if there's going to be a fifth wave 6 and all that. So what we're saying is, you can force people to take it, but people should understand that it has to do with the spread. And that is the reasons why the government are adamant of people to take the vaccines, because if you save yourself, it's as well saving the next person and the next person saving the next person, making us all free from what COVID is all about. And nobody want to experience the typical COVID experience. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, people ain't taking it serious. So because you can't force them, they're not taking it serious. So we have an hazard right now, and we need to mitigate it right now. So it shouldn't grow to something we can control.
All right.
So you see, where you want to travel, some real really dedicated countries will tell you to bring your result. They bans. They don't get you to the country if you've not taken it, because they know how serious this thing is all about. Because it's not about you, it's about the next person,
Yeah.
and the next person and the next person. It spreads. If it was just a virus that have to do with you and just yourself alone, then probably people care less, the government will care less about who takes it or who doesn't take it. But right now it has to do with a lot that we can't really handle when it gets to be
Yeah.
bigger than what it is right now.
Yeah.
Because for a government like Nigeria, I bet you we don't want it to get to a point where we have to close down all things the way we did the last time. So people should abide because of the safety and because of the importance of it. But the government needs to be able to let people know this vaccine are free from all kind of thought and imaginations people have out there.
All right.
So that's it.
All right, thank you so much for joining me on the conversation
Thank
this
you
morning.
very
It's such
much,
a pleasure to have you. And I do hope the government listens to the plight of people and maybe extend, the deadline so we don't have another, emergency on our hands.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you to your viewers for joining me on the conversation this morning. Do not forget that the conversation comes to you every weekday. That's Monday to Friday. So you have to be a part of the community. Follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. Subscribe on YouTube, and also you can stream our content and other shows on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adesu Alsi. I hope you have a really, really productive day today. Thank you, and join me again tomorrow.
Yeah.